Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Operation Miss podcast, where we invite lovely people on so that we can equip our listeners with tools to survive pregnancy, thrive afterwards, and just show up to motherhood and womanhood their best selves. And so today, I am super excited to have LaPortia Gaynor on. I fell in love with her last November and have just been falling deeper and deeper in love ever since. She is a strong, beautiful, powerful, and courageous woman. And I picked up on that from the first time we talked. And so I'm super excited to have her on here so that you all can get to know her better. And her signature phrase, in case she doesn't say it today, is to God be the glory. Praise be to God. It's always all about him. And so I think that a part of the reason that she is so strong is because we know that his strength is made perfect in our weakness. And so regardless of what we're going through, she relies on him. And if I've learned anything over the past almost year now from her, it is that it is okay to feel weak because God will ultimately empower us. So, LaPortia, I would love it if you would take over and introduce yourself to the listeners. Tell us a little bit about you and your beautiful family and your story. We'd love to hear all about it.
Oh man, Miss Catherine finally got me on this. It took months of persuasion, but I am LaPortia Gaynor. I am the mother of three, one including an infant loss. Um, my oldest is Gabriel. My daughter I lost, her name is Giselle. And my beautiful baby that Miss Catherine helped me usher into this world. When I say this was a pregnancy, it's the beautiful baby Giovanna. Um, I I don't even know where to begin because I'm not sure if my story really begins with my loss. Um, but I lost my daughter to SIDS. Um, she was born healthy, 7 pounds. I want to say 14 ounces, 7 pounds, 14 ounces. 2015. She was healthy. She was strong. My first pregnancy was with my son, and oh God, he ain't want to come out. He had Wi-Fi, he had cable in there, he had snacks. But at the time, I was working for the Department of Corrections, and I want to say, a little bit fitter, younger. And I would say I had him at 41 weeks, and that was through cesarean. So I never experienced labor with him. I just had the C-section and wasn't really given a lot of information on like the cons later on.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, well, if you want to just make it easier, let's just go ahead and cut this baby out you. And I was being young and very naive, uneducated at the time. I was, yeah, cut me. I mean, oh my God. I think my stomach was dragging the floor with him. I was just ready for relief. So he came in 8 pounds, 13 ounces. If I would have ate that morning, he would have been a strong 9 pounds. Just as precious as he wanted to be, I tell you. And I went through that. The health care that I was given was it was just, I was very, very new to it. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, I came from a history of C-sections. So my mom wasn't very, very much educated on like the cons of the cesarean or whatnot, which she later suffered from things later on in her life that honestly came from having, C-sections. But so I was encouraged to go along with the C-section, and of course they give you those drugs. I was doped up, I was happy, I was free. Um, I was God, overnight 20 pounds lighter. So it was just like, oh my God, the C-section is the bee's knees, baby. I am free. But then the drugs wear off. And that cut, whoo, it burns. It burns, it burns. So that was my first one.
Now, can I ask you something? So you were 41 weeks and all was well. You were healthy.
I was healthy. Baby was healthy. I had no issues. I just was, honestly, I was told his due date was February the 2nd or February 3rd. And I was like, oh, I was like, oh, well, he's late. Like, what's going on? Oh, well, I was like, and oh, I did have a slight complication. He did something I had never heard of. Because he was so heavy and I was so petite and small frame, he dislocated my pelvic joint. I had never experienced, so I thought I was in labor. That was at 6 months. I thought I was in labor, and I was at the prison when this happened. Oh Lord, bless my co-worker's sister, Opal Neesmith. Lord have mercy, bless her, bless her heart. But he dislocated my pelvic joint, and oh my God, I thought I was in labor. I was like, this is labor. The whole situation was so embarrassing because it happened and I was on the toilet at the prison.
Wow.
Oh God. Oh yes. I survived it.
Yes, you did. But it goes to show, LaPortia, I love that you brought that up, because of course that wasn't why they offered you the C-section at 41 weeks. And so we'll start with that, and then we'll go back to how your hip probably dislocated. So I think that sometimes when we talk about unnecessary C-sections, unnecessary meaning you have no medical indication for it, you're fine, baby's fine, but then you end up, like you said, with the ramifications of it, not just the physical recovery right then, but the issues that it can cause down the line, as well as the category that you're put in by some providers later on. So then they say, well, right? And you don't know all of those things at the beginning, but sometimes, people say, well, not all providers are like that. And that's very true. Not all providers are like that. However, as women, we have to understand that we don't just have to say yes because someone offers it to us. And then I think too, when a woman is at 41 weeks, and like you said, your stomach is dragging the floor, if you're given the option and you think it's safe, that it's equal, that C-sections are equal to vaginal deliveries, then you're going to say yes. What would make you say no? And so that's why we like having this podcast, so people understand the offer will likely be made. If it is, you are more than welcome to say, no, thank you. I've been pregnant for 41 weeks. I think I can say just hold out a little bit longer, because I think too, when you said, my due date is here, I'm late, that was an opportunity for them to say, no, you know what, the due date is just an estimation. Only 5% of babies actually come on their due dates. A lot of times you can hold, the baby can be in for a little bit longer. And that's why when we ask people about their due dates, we only ask once. If you ever notice, it was like, when are you due? When are you due? When are you due? Because for us, it's a due range. It's like, they say it's that day, but if we tack on a week early and 2 weeks later than that, then we'll probably be somewhere in the range of when your baby is going to get here. But let's just worry about you and keeping you healthy until the baby comes. That's really what it's all about, keeping you healthy, keeping you comfortable. And, when that's not the goal, when that's not the woman's outlook from the very beginning, then when that offer is given, then she just takes it. And there's a lot of risk that comes along with having cesarean deliveries, which is why they should only be done when it's absolutely necessary. Now, in terms of the hip dislocation, I love that you brought that up because you had to work, like you worked hard. You were working in the prison before, right? And yes. And so our bodies undergo a lot of change in order to allow the baby to come out safely when it's time. And part of that change causes some of our joints to be a little bit more mobile. And so our muscles have to work a little bit harder. And believe it or not, sitting on the toilet is very close to the position of dislocation. So even though it was embarrassing,
extremely
right, it's possible, and people don't realize that it's possible. That's why when you're told, hey, take it easy, hey, if you have a physical job, maybe try to back off of what you're doing toward the end of your pregnancy, it's because we know how the body changes. And so what happened to you is what could potentially happen to a lot of other women who have physically demanding jobs as the pregnancy progresses. So I'm really happy you brought that up.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Okay, so you had your sweet baby and he was perfect, but you tell us, so you can either tell us now, tell us about your first recovery. So you were saying you didn't know what all came along with the C-section. So the scar burned, but what else do you remember about recovering?
Oh man, just being afraid my guts were gonna spill out. Like you're holding and you can't cough or sneeze or oh God. The sheer fact that they want you to walk immediately after that just still astounds me. It's almost like a blessing and a curse because it's you have this beautiful bundle of joy, but your body is suffering, but you're so focused on this bundle of joy you don't that the suffering part. And we as moms, we naturally do that. We'll sacrifice us, ignore us to make sure baby and this bundle of joy is okay. And that is exactly what I did. I pushed through the pain. I was always afraid of getting hooked on drugs or anything. So I would not do the pain pills and stuff so much. I try to, take what I needed and wean myself off, and try to get back moving and active. I want to say it was 10 years ago for that one. I want to say because I was younger too, my bounce back was a lot better. I was back, walking around the track with Gabe and everything and trying to run. My job at the time, I hate to say it, required me to be on point all the time. And I'm only 5'1" physically. Spiritually, I am 6'8".
Yes, you are.
I am fun size. So, I have to be on, especially a female working at an all men's prison. So, but my recovery as far as that was much quicker. I did my doctor's appointments, came back, and it really wasn't much after that. I wasn't really explained anything after that, as far as how it would be later on. I want to say 2 years later, I got pregnant with my daughter, Giselle. And that pregnancy was tough. I had all day morning sickness. I was introduced to gestational diabetes. And more like diabetes kicked the dough in on me. And I was like, I just was terrorized because oh my God, diabetes. I got to stick myself. I remember being so stubborn. Oh Lord, forgive me. But I was like, if I got to stick myself every day, me and this baby ain't gonna make it. and telling my provider that, and coming home and telling my mom that I said that, and she was like, "They are gonna scrap your butt to a bed. Make sure this baby get here safely, and send you to Georgia Regional, and I'm gonna be stuck taking care of your kids." And I was just so, just so hurt and so upset, like, oh my God, I got gestational diabetes. But then I spoke more with my dad's mom, my grandmother, thank God, Grandma Betty, and found out that they had a history of diabetes. And the crazy thing is all of them, once they got pregnant with that first child, diabetes stuck.
Wow.
So I actually was lucky and missed it with the first kid. And the second child, not so much. But I had that. I had heart palpitations. I had vertigo with her. I remember having to use the bathroom, and that urge to pee just, it's always super intense. You don't care who you got to knock the hell over. You gonna get to the bathroom. And I remember jumping up and the room just spinning, and I done fell down, and I had to be like 6 or 7 months crawling to the bathroom with the room spinning, and I'm just like, I'm gonna make it to the toilet. I refuse to pee on myself. I refuse. Like, what is this feeling? I'm drunk and I haven't drank anything. There's no liquor in me. Oh God, they ain't gonna believe me. What is this? If I tell them, I come to find out I have vertigo. I had vertigo. And heart palpitations. Apparently I had a potassium deficiency.
Wow. And
something else I didn't know. Crazy thing is, if you have a potassium deficiency, it messes with your muscles. Mm-hmm. And here I am thinking my heart was made of stone. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, it was a muscle, and it affected that. And y'all, I am married, happily married, and in love. He chilled this heart made of stone. Shout out to my king, my handsome king, Matthew. But I had a potassium deficiency, and that affected my heart. And it was to the point that they wanted to let me wear a heart monitor. And I was like, I would have to get special permission to wear this in the prison. We can't even have phones. I don't want to deal with this. I don't want to deal with it. I just want to, get through this pregnancy and be okay. That's it. And I bucked against the system on that. And I was just like, oh, I don't want to deal with it. Not being explained like, hey, this is, this is dire need for you and your baby.
Right.
So it was kind of swept under the rug. I actually went into labor with her.
Wait. Don't start the labor story yet. I want to say something about the heart palpitations because, there's a lot of research that talks about heart palpitations during pregnancy and just how sometimes that's normal and things like that. But I love that you had a provider who looked into it and saw that you had a potassium deficiency. So for anybody listening, if you feel like something is wrong, you have to make sure that you get the symptoms investigated, because sometimes it is what people call a side effect of being pregnant, right? Which is not really that. It's just there are changes that are taking place within our bodies. And sometimes our hearts can beat faster and things like that. But we have to understand that sometimes it is something underlying. And so it's really good that you brought that up, because potassium does a lot for the heart. We need it. And like you said, it does a lot for the muscles. And so if you're having heart palpitations and you're listening, make sure that you get that checked into, because then if your provider says, oh no, nothing is wrong, they send you to a cardiologist or they get it checked out and you're fine, that's great. But if they don't, then you can go to somebody else and get a second opinion. And then the other thing though, is really when you said, I can't wear that in the prison, whatever, isn't it interesting how there are some jobs that literally, it's like you're having to choose between the job and your health. right? Because that's essentially what you would have had to do. And so I just wish that there was some backup plan for moms who had to make that choice, you know? It can be very hard sometimes to do that. I know that my husband works on the base where they can't even wear smartwatches, you know? And so, right. And so it's like, well, what if someone was dependent on this program or being on this program, and then every day that they went into work, they had to take it off? We can't keep having women have to choose between their health and their income. But that's really, at the end of the day, every pregnancy, I feel like women are landing there. And jobs can be stressful, if not physically, mentally. And they take a toll on us, on our pregnancies. And then the sugar issue that you were talking about, some women, you know, they don't know that sugar sticks around in the bloodstream a little bit more when we're pregnant. And so if we don't have a good handle on managing our sugars, or diabetes comes up and we don't know how to alter our diets, it can really negatively affect our pregnancy. So I loved watching you this pregnancy, and we'll go back to your last labor, but I loved watching you this pregnancy just make changes. You didn't have to stick yourself, right? Because you had the continuous glucose monitor. God was looking out for you.
Won't he do it?
Right.
Won't he
It was just a matter of you making decisions based on what you saw on your monitor. It was perfect.
Man, if I had this little blessing 10 years ago, oh my God. I mean, I would honestly be on top of the world, especially with just the knowledge, the plethora of knowledge and information you guys provide, the support, oh God, I can't. I swear. I mean, I pride myself on going and getting information myself, but I also am one to not really ask too much for help. And this has been a humbling experience. But I'm so thankful. When I say I'm so thankful for you, got nothing but God. When I say this fell into my lap, I didn't know stuff like this existed, you know, and it sucks because my second pregnancy, it turned me off of having kids. And if I knew I would have lost my daughter immediately after having my tubes tied, I would have never in a million years have went through with that procedure. Excuse me. I would have never went through with that procedure. You know, I would have never tested the fates like that. But I am, like I said, I'm so grateful and so thankful because my my daughter Giselle's pregnancy was so terrible. I was just like, I got my boy, I got my girl, my tubes. I ain't looking back. Leave me alone, Matt. Let's get a dog. If you want something else, let's get a dog, baby. Let's see anything else. You can have anything. Just let's no more kids, okay? And then that terrible day happened, and Lord, you know, it was just like I mean, I was hit with my life shattered. It's almost like the losing a child is like your heart may break it into a million pieces and is scattered across a football field in the dark. It seems impossible to even think that you'll find the pieces of it again, to put it back together again. Because I swear, I was definitely like, oh, I'm not even, you know, I'm not sure if I'm going to make it. So thank God for my husband. Thank God for my sisters. Thank God for my mom, my dad, my village. Thank God for my best friends, you know, my brothers. Lord, if I didn't have the village that I had at the time, Oh my God. I definitely wouldn't be here making this podcast. So I thank God for that. And thank God, just thank God for God. For God in the way that he gods. Because baby, whoo. But to God be the glory. Let's I, picked up the pieces. We went tubal reversal. And that's fast forward, what, 7 years? 7 years?
Wait, can you tell us about the labor? So how did labor go with you?
Oh man. I went into labor with her. And if I knew contractions was honey, oh, everybody ain't set up for pain. I done some stuff that I done felt like, oh, I can take it. I can do this. Maybe I can't. I can't. I cannot. I had never in my life wanted to stick my butt out of a window and just let a truck hit it on the way to the hospital. And just take the whole ass. I did not care. I was in so much pain. Oh my God. And then I'm so silly. Okay, I did not know. And so with this pregnancy, I felt like my doctor went on a lot of vacations. So I was stuck with dealing with the new RN who kept doing a hand search of me, a hand frisking of my uterus, and I was just plumb tired of it. It gave me the worst yeast infection of my life. I just did not want them to touch me again.
Okay.
So I didn't know I had what they call a slow leakage or something like that. When my water broke, I didn't have the gush. I just thought I was peeing up myself and kept washing. Kept washing and changing. I'm like, oh God, if I just go through one more thing. And then the mucus plug fell out of me. I didn't even look that up. I was like, what is this? What is this? Lord, Lord, get me through, Lord. Get me through. I was so angry and over everything. I was like, get me through. I should have called my provider then and let them know, but I was so afraid that the only thing they was going to do was come in there, have me come in, shovel around up me, and send me home. I'd be sore and aggravated. So I just was like, I ain't calling nothing. By the way, I was still working. Still working at the prison. So I was over it. I was like, oh no, I'm not going in again. I'm already sticking myself. They ain't about to shovel up around me and send me home. Oh no. I'm gonna wait this thing out. I'm gonna be all right. But then them contractions started hitting and getting closer. And it was so bad. I tried to sleep through it. And I'm a snorer.
Okay.
I was beside my husband, snoring, just getting it in and waking up. Oh, Jesus. He was like, baby, get up. I was like, I don't want to go. It'll hurt me even more. Send me home. I'm tired of it. I'm so tired of it. And actually was in labor. And I got there, and of course, after 3 doctors stuck their arm up me, and finally just, oh, she's in labor. Let's prep her for surgery. And I mean, it looked like white coats was flying everywhere. Matt was like, oh God, baby, well, we in there. It's go time, baby. He's such a jock. Let's go, baby. We got this. I'm just, oh Lord. I was like, oh God, I'm not ready. Where's Gabe? Where's Gabe? Oh God. I had my cousin watching him. But we ended up having her. I had another cesarean, which was already scheduled. Um, I wasn't told that, oh, you can push after a
Mm.
cesarean. I was just scheduled for a C-section, and this time I was just going with the flow. I thought that was normal. I had never even heard of VBAC until 2022, and this is 2015 at this time. And by the time that I did hear about VBAC, my hospital had stopped doing them.
Mm.
Crazy. Um, but
Wow.
so yeah, they've had like this big disclaimer out or something. They don't do VBACs or something anymore, and I was just like, what in the I guess this must have been a hidden term. I'm just by the time I found out about it, and I want to do one,
Right.
I can't do it here. But I had her. She was beautiful, perfect. My Giselle Laria. Um, came home. We were fine. I had a tubal ligation, not knowing that was considered another surgery too,
Mhm.
and had the worst trapped gas in
Wow.
my life. That pain, and it lasted for like a week. That pain behind that, oh Lord, it was so painful. I didn't want to eat. I didn't want to do anything. I just kept trying to move and hold my baby, and she was so sweet and calm that I felt like she just had patience for her mama. She had patience for her, so I made it through that. And at 2 months and 2 months, 9 days, 4 hours, I lost her. Um, woke up the first night that I decided to have her in the crib, listening to someone else tell me, "Oh, you don't want to spoil the child, having holding her all the time." I had her in a bassinet beside my bed, but I was like, she does have her own room. I want her to, start sleeping in her little crib because she's going to outgrow this bassinet. And the very first night that I put her in her crib is the night that I lost her. So don't listen to nobody advice about your kids. If I ain't learned nothing, you trust your instinct. Your instinct is right. God gave us that instinct for a reason. Follow it. Follow it. Follow it. And you can't tell me nothing about my kids right now. If hit you on backwards, don't tell me. Don't tell me what to do. Okay? But no, just I felt instinctively that she wasn't ready for it. I felt she was different. And that happened. I paid, not trusting my instinct. Terribly. Um, so I had the tube tied, and I immediately in grief and despair. I mean, God, maybe 2 or 3 days after her funeral, called my doctor trying to get a tubal reversal. So she was just like, "Okay, you need to calm down. I want you to first try to get some kind of therapy or anything. Well, this is just too soon." Well, she was right. I, of course, wasn't trying to hear that.
Right.
Oh no. If I got to get another baby, I got to, something is, just being frantic and just manic at the time. I tried to get a tubal reversal immediately. I felt like, oh no, this is God's punishment for me not being fruitful. So I'm going to reverse this quickly. But it didn't work that way. I ended up waiting 7 years, and it just, my husband encouraging me and strengthening me, we finally decided to do it. And when we did it, I had so much stuff wrong in there. Like I had something I had never even heard of, a chocolate cyst. I thought that was from me being fat. I said, good Lord, A chocolate cyst, baby. Is there a rib cyst in there or cake cyst? Now, so chocolate cyst is a real thing. It's from the cyst rupturing over and over and the blood turning brown. And unfortunately, they had the pictures of it too to show me what all they cleaned up before reversing my tubes. And it was just like, oh my God, I really had endometriosis and a bunch of other stuff. So it would have, I was worried about it being super hard. Conceiving. And I was told that a year later I would be able to conceive. But to God be the glory, I conceived in 6 months after that.
Amen.
I conceived in 6 months after that. And fortunately, my diabetes went off the charts. And I was taking the once weekly injections. So I was told I couldn't take that. I had to get on something else, and it took forever for them to try to get all that stuff. And so here I am at the time, I think it was 6 weeks, 6 weeks, just now getting on medication for diabetes. And my diabetes was just off the charts, and I miscarried. I miscarried right before Christmas 2022. So it was 2021, excuse me, Jesus. 2021. And that kind of caught me off guard, and I was just like, I don't know if I want to try again. I'm over it, What a terrible sense of humor this life has, I'm just gonna take a break. But then God said, no, baby, no, I ain't done. I ain't done that. I ain't done. And I was pregnant again. And before I got pregnant, I was going to counseling at this time. So I was just like, I got to get my mind right. I've got to be ready. I know I need to work on things, mentally with me. And my wonderful therapist, when I found out I was pregnant, introduced me to you guys. This is where you guys came in, and she told me about it. So my therapist, bless her heart too.
Yes, please give her a shout out. Take some time to bless your.
I can say her name.
Yes, please do. Please do.
My
We're in love with her.
Miss Tabria Corporal. God bless you, woman. God bless you. God bless you. Check out her podcast too. Okay. But that wonderful woman, Lord, she was another one that was strong and sick of me. But she introduced me to you guys, and I was already like talking like, I don't know what is this, it took me like 2 weeks to even reach out, and I was like, I don't know about this. And then when I reached out, Catherine responded so quickly. I was like, oh man, they crazy. So something wrong. Something wrong. They trafficking organs or something around here. Something wrong. I just didn't believe this lady was this nice. Oh Lord, I ain't giving her my address.
Hilarious.
I was side-eyeing it the whole time. But then I realized, like, this lady is genuinely this sweet. Lord, what you gonna bless me with? What is this? It's oh man. I really found out you guys were heaven sent. I mean, I asked God for help, and He gave me superb help. He went above and beyond. I mean, I was looking to the hills for my help, and literally, you guys fell from the sky. So I mean, amazing. He knows I'm big on learning, educating myself and learning. So He gave me a group that provided education. He gave me a a mentor, a guidance, who had patience out the wazoo with my butt. Cause Lord, I know I can be. I ain't gonna say cutthroat. I know I can be rough. And Lord, Miss Catherine, girl, when I see you, just know I'm a hug and kiss you, a bear hug, because baby, I don't know, I couldn't put up with me.
Whatever. You are a blessing. You
But
are nothing but a blessing.
I mean, the information, the teaching me how to advocate for myself in this medical field, which I know nothing of. I mean, I felt like I knew a little something, but no, I was completely clueless. I wanted this pregnancy to be different. I wanted this pregnancy to be mine. Not nobody else's, not nobody telling me what else to do with my body. I wanted my baby to be here safe. I wanted her to stay safe. You know, I wanted changes. I wanted different. And at the beginning of this pregnancy, my OBGYN of 10 years freaking retires, pushes me off to, to the healthcare providers from hell. And if it weren't for you, Catherine, Lord have mercy, I would have been the next John Q. I would have been. I would have. Oh my God! If it weren't you and Mr. Bria have taught me off the ledge 2,000,000 times, and y'all don't even know it. So thank you both. But I started realizing my voice in this pregnancy and using it, and unfortunately, when you're trying to voice your concerns or your opinions or something, you're kind of viewed at in the bias of the medical field, the stereotypes and biases of the medical field as confrontational and the angry Black woman syndrome, asking questions. And it was definitely not that at all. I just wanted to know why this, or how this, or could we this. And almost at every corner, I had some kind of pushback. At every corner. This was my best pregnancy and my worst medically. This was my best pregnancy because I carved out that time, carved out that space and that energy for me and baby Gia. And you guys gave me the tools to do that. So this was, like I said, my best and worst pregnancy. My best pregnancy because of being able to have that space. My worst because if you're not agreeing with everything these medical providers are saying and doing, and not questioning or seeming, I guess, confrontational, or saying no. Sometimes saying no, I got, some pushback, and it wasn't positive. It was just, and I would come, and Lord, Miss Catherine, every time I got a question or something popped up, I was coming right down. Sometimes I had you right there texting you while I'm asking. Well, this is what's going on, and this is what she said, and I'm screenshotting this, and I'm sending it to you, and you tell me what to ask. And I never forget one time I asked about something, and I was supposed to be meeting with the doctor that day, but they sent like the nurse assistant or something, or the little grad student or whatnot to speak to me. And I did speak to her and I asked questions, and she got flustered and went and got the doctor, who looked like she was going to Orange Crush. That's an event out here in Savannah.
Mhm.
She had the little heels on, her little skirt, and she looked like she was headed to the beach. And I had stopped her from going.
Yeah.
So I was just like, okay, I'm sorry to interrupt your day. And she was still, short and curt with me, as if I was a nuisance for asking. Um, I can't think of me. I've been told no and treated so rough so many times. I can't think of me for the love of me what it was that I asked. But I know I had you. I was texting you and screenshotting you at the time. Like, what in the world is okay? But I've, like I said, just been blessed with just the knowledge and to advocate for myself, and it's brought me out of this successfully.
I have to say this because a lot of times when people are ignored or they're treated like they're annoying, then they won't ask questions. They won't follow up. So then it turns into you're consenting to things, but it's not informed consent. And so as a patient, as a mom, a soon to be mom, you should never be made to feel that way. And unfortunately, I feel like a lot of women either don't have other options because it's the closest provider to them, or they just all of the work that they feel it would take to leave a provider just to go to someone else who may treat them the same way, you just end up staying. And so I think that in that case, the only thing that you can do is continue to go, continue to ask. It doesn't matter how it makes you feel. You just keep doing it because you know that at the end of the day, it's the best thing for you and your baby. And so when I would watch you speak up, get frustrated, come back, do it again, it's like that's what a mom does. So before Gia even got here, I knew what kind of mom you would be because you protected her while she was in your belly. It's uncomfortable and you shouldn't have to do it. And I have this image in my mind of pregnant women fighting. And if someone saw a pregnant woman, they'd be like, oh my God. But you have to do it every day.
Oh man.
Sometimes women are doing it every day. And then when you're high risk, 2 or 3 times a week, and you have so many appointments to go to, it's already a stressful situation. And then you think about finances because now you have to take off of work to go to these appointments, to be looked down on, only to have to go turn around and go back to work. It is a perpetual cycle of stress. And people don't understand how that, if just the healthcare system changed that part of it, where you were welcoming of questions or you gave all the information, then a woman would have to keep coming back and asking you. Something has to change on our end so that you all don't have to fight so hard.
Stop the biases. Like, I'm so tired of seeing or being treated as the strong Black woman in every type of situation. And the only time I'm not treated as a strong Black woman, I'm the angry Black woman.
Right.
I'm not the peaceful Black woman. I'm not the calm Black woman. I'm not the tired Black woman. I'm not the needing your help Black woman. I'm these two. I'm either these two categories, and it's to your benefit, not to mine. Because I'm the strong Black woman when you don't want to be considerate of me.
Yes.
I'm the angry Black woman when I'm considering myself. And I can't. I hate so bad that I had to experience that, and not just from the medical field, from my job. Oh my God. If my job had their way, me and Gia would definitely, I don't know if I want to be in the ground. I'd probably be cremated. But we be in a nice box. Some of our ashes scattered out across the sea, but if they had their way, or if they continued with the route, or I let them continue with the route that they were taking, I'd be dead.
Yes.
I'm and the sad thing is it's so scary. It's so scary that my life, and my child's life means so little, you know, where I've seen other moms at my job um be treated, like they're walking on gold, walking. They got what was it?
The
Oil
red
wells,
carpet.
oil wells pumping in their living room. Okay, and have not even a fraction of the issues that I was having. I mean, I had diabetes, heart palpitations, blood pressure.
Remember, you were swelling, you
I
had
was
nerve damage, you
oh
had
God,
it took you 2 hours to get ready in the morning. You're driving however long
an
to get to
hour.
work, working 10 hours, coming back home. You had a lot going on. And when I tell you, the first time when the nerve issues happened, I was like, oh, okay, they just, of course, they're gonna give her give her some time off, some
Oh no!
consideration.
Oh no! Oh no!
No. And
Oh
so
no!
you
They
were
came in, girl.
go
They
ahead.
came in and gave me a cushion. They felt that cushion was don't stop this my legs giving out, and I have no feeling in my legs, and hell, it was up to my arms, my right arm. I had no feeling in my arms and legs. But you gonna get this work done. You can
Right.
get this work done. It's more important. And I'm just sitting here like, okay, here I am telling you this. Not only that, I'm now on an insulin pump. That's a whole new, that right there in itself. I remember explaining to my coworkers, hey, I have to wear an insulin pump now. I know I don't have the little fancy dog collar that that says all my damn ailments. Letting y'all know right now, there's a pen in this drawer. If y'all see me passed out over here, let medical know. Stab me with that pen. Okay? I want to live. And management twisting that and literally having a meeting saying about don't put your coworkers in situations they're uncomfortable with, being responsible for your health. That was the meeting. Not help this pregnant girl. That was the meeting. How embarrassing. So after I was having a meltdown about that just being put on blast and made seem like I was the problem for letting them know. And by the way, my medical providers told me, hey, let your workplace know, because you're spending a lot of time here, and this is this. Let them know, get you a plan in place. And I was waiting on my medical provider at the day to get the plan and send it on over. But I mean, not even an hour after I had made that to my immediate coworkers, made that announcement to my immediate coworkers, and they were all, on board and helpful. God bless them. My management had a meeting about that, and it was just like, wow, how much more could you not care?
Yeah.
How much more? And the sad thing is, one of them was a woman, and it was like, you would expect, pregnancy is hard. And
Yeah.
by the way, the miscarriage that I had was there at the job previously. So my situation, just what type of energy I'm bringing to this. I'm not going to do anything wild or crazy. I just want you guys to know I'm here the majority of my day.
Yeah.
Some kind of protection plan, something, just something. I didn't think that it would be, a situation like that, and the stress from that Never mind all the other factors, but just the stress from that alone, it was just like, okay, now here I am. I reached out to my medical providers and tried to see about, hey, what is going on? Like, I'm losing my feeling, you know. They did a referral for a physical therapist. 3 weeks later, after I already had a physical therapist myself, I had to go and get a physical therapist myself who specialized in pelvic floor, which I learned from you guys. Shout out to Dr. Janelle Brown. Woo, woo, woo. She's getting married soon. Love you. But after 3 weeks in with her, finally the physical therapist contacts me.
Wow.
I've called and left messages with them. And 3 weeks later, I get a call. Already active in the physical therapy I was with her. And she came to my house. Of course, they could kick rocks.
Yes.
I was like, oh, no. I'm okay, baby. Thank you.
Yes.
And let my medical providers know that I had chosen another physical therapist.
Yes. Though, honestly, so let's talk about this, because we just talked about this report, how women are having bad outcomes, passing away, stuff like that. And one of the major reasons is a lack of follow-up. And so you think about if you had gone that whole 6 weeks without help, what that would have looked like. And here you are, because I need people to get the picture. You're pregnant, you're checking on your sugars, you're going to work, you're going to 2-3 appointments a week already. And so now and you had to ask for the physical therapy. So you couldn't get to a neurologist, right? They weren't going to go that route with you. So you had to ask for a referral. They give you the referral, but then no help comes behind that. And so you have to do right. And you have to do your own research. It is hard to be pregnant and have anything go wrong and not have support. And so, yes, Dr. Brown, I tell you, I love her too, and fell in love with her even more post-delivery.
Oh, Lord.
Because
Lord, don't get me started about that, Lord.
Yes, we're going to talk about this post-delivery situation, right? Because you made it beautifully to your dude. Oh my God. Like,
oh Lord, have mercy.
Did this pregnancy better than anybody. I was so, and then here's the thing, when you talk about stress and how your job impacted your body, you could tell when you stopped working there. You could see it. I woke up and looked at the dashboard and I was like, wait a minute, let me reach out.
It's different. And I didn't go to work today. I moved from one couch to another. These were, and you stay on it. Lord have mercy, you stay on it. Let me tell y'all, if y'all ever get Catherine as a Miss Monitor, cross your T's, dot all of your I's, okay, and use correct grammar, because baby, she is watching. Okay, my husband has dubbed this M.I.S.T Mafia behind her. Okay, he said what is his name? Frank Sinatra. Who's the guy? No, who's the guy?
I don't know.
Oh God, Scarface. He said Scarface gave him a call. He didn't know what was going on. Oh God, bless him. He said, Lord, what, Miss Mafia, some lady called me. Oh, he was like, she had a set of elite skills. But you know what? I thank God for it. I thank God for it. He knows me so well, and he provides on every level, on every aspect, on every level. He has provided, and I'm just so thankful you allowed him to use you. I'm gonna keep saying that. I mean, I'm thankful. I'm thankful, Lord. Thank you.
And I'm thankful for you and being able to walk this journey with you. And just to see how your husband served you the whole pregnancy, how he changed. I remember he was driving long distances and then you needed him to be a little closer. We needed him to be a little closer. And he just adjusts. He's like, whatever she needs. That's what I
Yes.
do.
Oh God, my king, my king, my king. I've definitely married royalty. He has, oh God, my king, my rock. I don't know where I would be, you know, just his strength alone, like his strength, his love, his care. Just, oh my God, it's kept me. It's kept me. It's kept me. It's carried me.
Yeah.
You know, if it wasn't for him, I swear, um, he he just, Lord, anything. I mean, I ain't gonna say he spoils me because I don't. He gonna watch this later on, and I don't want him to get any ideas. Don't you change up? But he does. He does anything and everything for me and them kids.
Yes.
I've definitely got a nurturing provider husband. Like, oh God,
Mm.
I've been blessed. His name is Matthew, which means gift from God. And
Wow.
he truly has been. He truly has been. Um,
Wow. So listen, so we got to tell the people what happened postpartum. Okay, so
oh Lord.
this precious baby, right? Get home and and I'm gonna tell you, I was on this call and I get 3 calls at one time. So here's the beauty of the team, right? Here's the beauty. I know, you do this part. So get 3 calls, and I love you so much. And I'm so grateful that you're in my life. And I think that what people don't understand about this is that it really is a family. Like, so when something goes wrong, or we think something might be wrong, or something is amazing, we're all going to grieve together and we celebrate together and we fight together, right? So it is what it is. But when I got those reach outs, I didn't care what was going on. Picked up the phone and called Dion Middlebrook. She's a PT and she loves Janelle Brown. So when Dr. Brown saw your blood pressure, she was like, what's going on? And prior to getting onto the call, I had messaged you. I was like, hey, you send me your blood pressures, and then you send them over, and they were high. They were very, very high. So the conversation had to be had, because now you got 3 PTs about to come get you because it is so hard though as a mom. When I tell you, when I called you and was like, hey, you got to go to the hospital, I was crying. I have had to be separated from your child for any period of time is difficult. To be separated after you've experienced a loss is unthinkable. I was like, I don't even know if I would take this advice, right? And so when you were like, well, I'll just go to sleep and go in the morning. I'll just let me see if it gets better in the morning. I was like, okay.
You gonna make me cuss.
This chick has never seen this side of me before.
Oh
So let me say this as nicely as I possibly can.
God.
You will not die on our watch.
Her
Okay.
voice changing all y'all.
You would right, because prior to you delivering 2 days before, someone actually just passed away in that hospital. And so when I tell you prayers were going up, we were like, nothing bad will happen to this mom, not on our watch. And so with that, just in the back of my mind, I was like, no, she doesn't even know if she has the night. When blood pressure is that high, we have got to jump on it. And the problem is, number one, a lot of women aren't checking it. So if you're listening and you're not checking your blood pressure every single day, please do that, because it can change just like that. It can change from morning to night. But can you imagine if you're not checking it, you could miss it completely. And so you either have, and I remember talking to your sweet husband, and girl, he was like, I don't care if it's 11 o'clock at night, because it was 11, it was 10 or 11 at night. And y'all had to pack up the kids and drive an hour to get to the hospital. And he was like, okay, I got it. Right. And so it's just
he was like, baby, what? he was so sweet and calm on the phone with you, because he was like, what? I wasn't really telling him like my blood pressures was high. I was just like, it's a little rough, baby. I think I'm asleep and it'll get better and this and third. He was like, girl, if you don't get this lady don't threaten my life, you don't get in this car. I was like, oh Lord, all right, baby. All right. I don't want to leave. Oh,
I know.
I don't want to leave my sweet pea. And Lord, she just as precious as she want to be, unbothered. I'm over here. I think I was on the phone with you crying then. Oh, I don't want to leave her, Lord. I don't want to leave her. And you was like, if you don't go, you may not get to see her again.
Right?
So you don't want your child to be motherless. I was just, and I went on.
At the end of the day, you got the treatment that you needed, And I think that though, what we do also have to realize that in your case, your blood pressure was ignored by a lot of people. So the problem is in the hospital.
The scary part.
That's the scary part. Right. And so you had to go from place to place, from provider to provider, so somebody would listen to you. And I think there are some standards. So for us, of course, we don't go by the general standards. We go by what's your baseline and then how much higher you are than your baseline. But even the accepted baseline, like the accepted standards, were being ignored in your case. And that has to be brought out. When someone's blood pressure is 160 over 105, 110, that is an emergency situation. And for that to be ignored is unacceptable. It's unacceptable. So if you're listening and this is happening to you, it's unacceptable. And so what you do at that point is you go find somebody who will listen. And so in this case, and sometimes in your area, nobody was listening. So then there comes this angel. You talk about angels, and that experience changed my life. I was like, I asked a general question because I said, I don't know everything. And I realized that I love learning like you. I'm a consumer of information. And I thought maybe there is a situation somewhere where they're like, okay, 160 over 110 is not a problem, right? So I need to figure out what that situation is. And since I'm in the midst of OBs, I'm just going to ask. So I put out a little general question. I tell you, Dr. Collins looked straight at me and she said, that does not sound like a general question. Whoever that is happening to, that stops today. Came off the stage, called about a few people, rounded up some of her friends, and set you up with an appointment. Set you up with a primary care doctor to follow up.
She is amazing.
She is amazing. Dr. Sharma Peters. Right? I'm like, okay. So Dr. Collins sets all of this up in a matter of 20 minutes. The thing is, we got to have people that we can call on when we're being ignored. You were being ignored, even if this is not the norm, which I've seen it happen over and over and over again at this point. It has to be stopped. And the stories don't need to be silenced. They need to be amplified so that women understand you can ask somebody else for help. You think I was leaving that place without getting help for you? No, ma'am. When she said, where does she live? I was like, have you ever heard of? I don't know. I don't. And she said, oh, not only have I heard of it, she was like, I know people who can help her. And she called them and they their schedules for you. Because your life is worth it, LaPortia.
I don't know by this time I was tired and woozy and I didn't know all this was going on. Lord have mercy. I know you told me, you was like, God is moving things for you. And I'm just like, oh, sleep, sleep. It's just if I can get one thing of sleep, I can. I don't even know if I spoke English when I picked up the phone to speak to you, but this is after being admitted to the hospital twice. Just when I say that postpartum, that the first 2-3 weeks was something else. I didn't get to enjoy as much as I wanted to. I feel like that time pretty much was robbed from me because I was ignored. And I think I'm not going to say everybody at your health was rough because the night shift nurses was on it. Okay, shout out to all the night shift nurses that saw me. But some of them day shifts, I don't know. They better off working at a veterinarian or something because I felt like their dogs got better treatment. That's just all I'm gonna say. One lady, I literally had to ask for her not to come back because I mean, here I am swelling up like the Michelin Man over here, and oh, I hate these two phrases, by the way, from this pregnancy. Oh, this is because you're pregnant. One. And oh, every pregnancy is different. So whenever you're complaining about something that's different or hadn't had this is happening, oh, it's because you're pregnant. Well, this is my fourth pregnancy, really. So oh, every pregnancy is different. So I mean, it's so those two statements is just like their go-to phrase when they don't want to explain or ain't trying to explain or don't care to look any further. It's like their little, I ain't gonna say get out of jail free card, just their little way to slide you off. And I heard that so many times. Every time I complained about something, not even complain, question about why this happening to me. Oh, it's because you're pregnant. This ain't my first rodeo, ma'am. I'm just, it's like you tell me that it's because I'm pregnant, but then I'm like, oh, this is my fourth pregnancy. Oh, every pregnancy is different. Then why are you treating me so statistically? Why am I being treated statistically if every pregnancy is different? Oh, it's because you're pregnant. Then they go circle back around. It's because you're pregnant.
It's a shame. It's a shame because what that does is it shuts down opportunities for you to actually get better. Because when you told me about the breast, like you can't even pump because your hands are so swollen. That is not normal.
That's why I fired that nurse. I was like, please keep her away from me. Please.
You can't. So that's what that does. And I think that's what people don't understand. When you attribute everything to a mom being pregnant or saying you think it's different, but every pregnancy is different, then you don't provide help. That's the problem. Even if you think, well, this is different from our first one, then great. Let's have a hand specialist look at her. Let's have a PT look at her. Let's look into the cause of the swelling. There are so many things that you can do when you just open your mind to the fact that even if this is a part of pregnancy, how do we make her get through this pregnancy better, more comfortable, the postpartum period better, safer? We have to start looking for options instead of looking for ways out of doing extra work. Ooh. That's what we have to do.
That's my tambourine, because baby, I mean, I don't know, I can't attribute to what is causing the laziness so much in the medical field or whatnot. I don't know if it's because of the harshness of the pandemic or the harshness of how the medical system was treated behind the pandemic. Just what I don't know. I haven't experienced so much, biases in the medical field than I've ever had in my entire life for this pregnancy. this pregnancy, by God's grace, will be my last one.
I don't know the way you and Matthew be connecting, girl. I don't know.
Ooh, I'm investing in the chastity belt as we speak. Let me stop. Let me stop. I'm just kidding, baby. But this I've never experienced this so much that I have with this pregnancy. And it was like, is it because I'm advocating more for myself? I'm better educated. I'm asking the right questions. Or it's like I'm not coming in here trying to tell you how to do your job. No, I don't have a PhD in this field, but I have a PhD in me.
Amen.
Gwenny quote from my mom. I have a PhD in me, and I've known me for 34 years. I've worked me for 34 years. I studied me for 34 years. And this is how I move and operate. So you guys to keep treating me so statistically, like I wanted to have a VBAC this delivery. I wanted to do the whole thing, the water birth and all. I wanted to do the lotus birth. I wanted a doula there. I wanted like the chimes and everything. I wanted flowers thrown over us and all when I had her. It was gonna be really earthy, okay? God's grace and mercy. But you told me I couldn't have a VBAC. So y'all were pretty much, this is damn near the end of the pregnancy, and y'all were telling me that I couldn't do a vaginal birth.
Yes. And the thing is that when it comes to having VBACs, it really does depend on the comfort level of the provider a lot of the times. Like that when you get that resistance right off, it's just for anybody listening, it behooves you to just ask more questions and to ask other providers too. Because then they could have said, well, not only did you have this, but this also happened during your procedure. And that's why we feel that it's safer for you to have a repeat cesarean section. But when they don't do that, you always have that question of, could I have done it? Could it have been done? If I was somewhere else, would they have said something different? And it's just not fair for a mom to have to live with that. I mean, thank goodness Gia is perfect in every way, right? But when intervention is unnecessary and then things go wrong, you're like, well, would I have run into all the complications I ran into postpartum had I not had that C-section?
Man,
right?
Lord, talk about it, somebody, because I never even knew nothing about it. I mean, just so much stuff happened new to me that I just didn't ever think would happen to me. A spinal headache, what is that? And I've been under anesthesia, God, like countless times by this time, not knowing that it could backfire this way. And I have the worst headache I've ever had in my life. And they all kept saying it was migraines. And I was just like, what kind of I ain't never had migraines in my life. Like, I've never had migraines. I've never had a problem with blood pressure. Yeah, I am fat. I'm okay. But the diabetes, yeah, I mean, I felt like I had a handle on it. What? Now I got migraines? You gonna tell me I got migraines after this? I'm literally sitting in the room with my sister. Looked like she found the worst shades for me. With shades on in the hospital room, nauseated and just head killing me. Lord, I couldn't take it. And their way to stop it was to give me more dope. I mean, I was so drugged up. I talk to you?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. And we talked about the success rate of the patching, the possible like headaches can replicate or be a sign of preeclampsia, like all the things. And Girl. It was just like you were just ignored.
Not even that. I was loopy talking to you. So my apologies. I mean, oh God, my daughter's godmama said I was so drugged up I was singing Karma Chameleon and asking her about the Brothers Grimm. I want to apologize to everybody that called me while I was in the hospital. I love you guys. I didn't mean it. Okay. They kept me drugged up. And I was like, okay, well, as long as the drugs work, I'm okay. I'm half functioning.
Crazy.
Drugs work. I'm okay. I'm okay.
You know what you didn't forget to do though? You were pumping.
Lord, pump it and just watch. And I took my watch into surgery. I, I was gonna text you and say if the heart rate stop on this thing, I can make it, and y'all get here stat. Oh my God! Like I was gonna send out a bat signal and everything, but I said I don't want her to panic either because I don't want her to drive all the way down the.
And you know I would.
I know, and I was like, my mama was like, "Now, oh, providers." I just, Lord, I was like, "Look," I told Matt, I was like, "They let me keep it on, or they didn't pay attention, either or." I was glad it was on. I was like, "Lord, it's charged. I'm up. I'm synced. All right."
You are the best.
Drop. It's recorded on this. I told Matt, I said, everything's recorded on this app. Go to the app. Talk to Catherine. Change the name to Gainer Hospital. I want you to sue the brakes off of them. Like, and donate a large chunk to the Misties. Like, it was going down. Look, I was prepared. I might not have had a will, but I had a plan of action.
Oh my gosh. You know what? I have to tell you, so we'll wrap up in a minute, but at the beginning I said that I learned about your trust in God and how much I admired that. But the other thing I got to experience that I really, every time you send me a voice memo that I look forward to is laughing. When it says that laughter is like, oh, I forget, it's just good for you. It's good for you. I have not heard you stop. Yes, for your soul. I have not heard you stop laughing this whole time.
Oh Lord.
You have a joy about you that it's just all of the things that everyone just heard that you went through. And yet joy is the thing I remember about you from every phone call, from every audio, from every text message, from every meeting you attended. Nothing steals your joy. And it's so beautiful to watch, to experience.
Well, I'm thankful for it because I think it comes from me reading that verse, that God, I don't know if it was a verse or some saying where God gives you joy. Happiness. Oh no, it was Kurt Franklin talking about, so something got to be happening for happiness, but joy is everlasting. I'm gonna keep my joy. You got to laugh to keep from crying anyway. Lord knows I've cried plenty of tears, but my family, my how I've been brought up, we've been taught to laugh and enjoy, to cut up, to get through the times. And like I said, that has kept me. I love my family. I can't. You think I'm a trip? You got to see all us together.
I can't wait.
Girl, you got to see all us together. Now, that's something else. I got 2 more sisters, and one of them got dry humor, and the other one is a bubbly, a little blossom, a little fairy. I call it. She's so bubbly and happy, and everybody loves her. Shout out to Gunny and Loretta.
Yes.
I mean, Lord, we cut up. You got to smile. You got to laugh through it. I mean, if you had a choice to cry through it or to laugh through it, I mean, crying takes so much energy, so much from you. It's good to cry, but don't stay there. Laugh through it. I'm gonna cut up. I'm gonna cut up. I'm gonna rock this. I
Yeah.
I can't thank Misty's enough for making this pregnancy mine. This was my pregnancy. This wasn't my doctor's pregnancy. This wasn't the hospital's pregnancy. This was my pregnancy this time. And because of you guys, I lived and I did not die. So I mean, uh I'm trying not to get misty eyed over here. Misty eyed. You like how I use that? Try not to get misty eyed over here, but I can't thank you guys enough for saving my life. Thank you to you and Dr. Janelle, Lord have mercy, and Dr. Sharma, because I know y'all was sick of me.
Not at all. Not at all.
But I can't thank you guys enough. Like, Lord, woo. I definitely owe my life to this organization, me and my daughters. And I don't say that easily. So, join the Misties. Join us. Try not to look psycho. Join us.
So just so everyone knows, LaPortia has given us two names, the M.I.S.T Mafia. Oh, wait, there's the M.I.S.T headquarters, and then we are all the Misties, yes. And we are so grateful. And for anyone listening, understand, like, no matter where our roads take us in the future, we will be sisters forever, forever. I am so grateful to you because it takes a lot to trust someone with your journey. I feel like the more you share, though, not only does the relationship get deeper, but the more we can help. And so if you join, don't just join just to be a part. Join and understand that it takes vulnerability sometimes to allow people to love you in the way that you deserve to be loved, that you deserve to be supported. I think that's why Matt can love you in the way that he does, because he knows you.
He
And
ain't got no choice.
and so we want everyone, I'm so happy that you shared your story, because everyone now gets to understand that if you stand up for yourself, right, then you can make the pregnancy yours. And come what may, you made all the decisions, informed decisions.
Oh my God.
And that's why you're here. Can you imagine if you said no to driving to the hospital, no to driving there again, no to taking the blood pressure medicine, no to following up with the primary care doctor?
Getting the blood pressure cuff. No to not taking off the time for work. No, it kept working. No, I didn't want to get a physical therapist. No, I didn't. I don't want to join Operation M.I.S.T. If I said no, I would have been another statistic. I would have probably been the second death that week. Not even that week, Jesus. I don't think I would have made it. I don't think I would have made it that far. I'd probably been in jail. I'd been in jail, waiting on this life sentence from prison. I'm telling you, I just, Lord, I'm telling you, nothing but God, and all these anointed people. And then I can't even believe you wanted me on this. All the martyrs that I done heard on this podcast and all the phenomenal women. I'm like, Lord, she must want me on here for comical relief. Baby. Because Jesus, the amazing women. I done sat at my desk listening to this podcast, crying, lying and telling my co-workers I'm just emotional. And they, Lord, it's okay. Listening to this podcast and just getting inspired and knowing I can do this and knowing I'm not alone, knowing I'm not weird or abnormal for wanting more for myself, my child during this pregnancy. Knowing it's okay to advocate for myself, that I'm not breaking any laws, I'm not taking any money out of anybody's pocket or anything like that. I'm actually, fighting for me and my child's life. And it's okay to do that. And who cares what they think, because this is your right to do so. That knowing that, just Lord, just super empowered me. I mean, I don't know what is that when Super Mario gets the, I don't know what, the power up thing. I felt like big Super Mario with Misty behind me. Like, Lord, nothing but God.
Nothing but God. Thank you for coming on, LaPortia. I love
Thank
you
you for
so much.
having me.
You're welcome.